Every food lover knows Thai street food, Japanese street food, Vietnamese street food. These cuisines dominate food documentaries, travel shows, and social media worldwide. But there is one street food culture that the world has completely ignored. One country where vendors have been cooking on the streets for over 400 years.
Where every skewer, every snack, every bite carries a story of survival, colonization, and pure Filipino heart. And almost nobody is talking about it.
Today that changes. Filipino street food is a vibrant tapestry woven from diverse cultural influences. It's not just food. It's tradition served on the streets, meant for the everyday person. Picture the tantalizing aroma of grilled skewers, the sizzling of fish balls and bright quail eggs wrapped in crispy batter. Each bite tells a story of resilience, a shared identity, where flavors unite people under the glow of streetlights, igniting community and heritage. The Philippines sits at the crossroads of Asia, influenced by China, Spain, America, and its own 7,000 islands of indigenous culture. Yet when people think of Asian street food, the Philippines rarely comes up. Why? Because Filipino food has always been humble. It was never made for restaurants or fine dining. It was made for the streets, for the working class, for the people who needed to eat fast, eat cheap, and eat with their hands. And that is exactly what makes it extraordinary. Filipino street food was never trying to impress anyone. It was simply trying to feed a nation. And that honesty, that rawness, is what makes it the most underrated street food culture on the planet. Walk through any Filipino city at night and your senses immediately come alive. The smell of pork barbecue hitting charcoal, the sound of fish balls sizzling in oil, the sight of long skewers lined up on makeshift grills lit by nothing but a single bulb. This is Filipino street food in its purest form. The BBQ stick marinated pork or chicken on a bamboo skewer, grilled over hot charcoal, is perhaps the most iconic. Every Filipino has a memory attached to this food. After school, after church, after a long day of work. Then there is isaw grilled chicken or pork intestines cleaned, marinated, and cooked to perfection. To outsiders, it sounds strange. To Filipinos, it is comfort food at its finest. Kwek kwek, deep-fried quail eggs wrapped in bright orange batter, are eaten by the dozen on street corners across Manila. And fish balls. Perhaps the most democratic food in all of the Philippines, 5 pesos, a bamboo stick, a bucket of sweet or spicy sauce. Rich or poor, everyone eats fish balls. These are not just snacks. These are cultural monuments, eaten standing up on the sidewalk, with strangers who become friends over a shared stick of BBQ. Filipino street food did not happen by accident. It was born from 300 years of Spanish colonization, American occupation, and a people who had to survive with almost nothing. When Spanish colonizers arrived in the 1500s, they brought new ingredients: tomatoes, corn, bread. The Filipinos absorbed them and made them their own. When Chinese traders came, they brought noodles, tofu, and frying techniques. The Filipinos absorbed those too. When America arrived in the early 1900s, they brought processed food and fast food culture. And again the Filipinos adapted. But through all of this, through every colonizer, every war, every struggle, Filipino street vendors kept cooking, because the street was the one place nobody could take from them. The street belonged to the people, and so Filipino street food became something deeply political, deeply emotional. It was an act of survival, an act of identity, a declaration that no matter what happened to this country, its people would still feed each other. Something is changing. In Los Angeles, London, Dubai, and Tokyo, Filipino restaurants are opening faster than ever before. Filipino chefs are winning international awards. Food critics who once ignored Philippine cuisine are now calling it the next great food culture of the world. And at the heart of all of it is street food. Because the flavors that made Filipino food special were never in the fine dining restaurants. They were always on the streets. The smoky sweetness of BBQ, the vinegar sharpness of dipping sauces, the deep umami of bagoong, the comforting warmth of goto on a cold, rainy night. These are flavors that the world is just beginning to discover, and Filipinos everywhere are saying, "We told you so." Filipino street food has fed millions of people for hundreds of years. It has survived colonization, poverty, typhoons, and a world that refused to pay attention. But it is still here, on every street corner, on every bamboo skewer, in every 5-peso fishball, waiting for the world to finally notice. And now you know why it deserves your attention. If this documentary opened your eyes to Filipino food culture, hit the like button right now. It helps more people discover these untold stories. Subscribe to Filipino Food Stories, because every week we go deeper into the history, culture, and food of the Philippines that the world never talks about. And comment below, which Filipino street food do you want to try first? We will see you in the next documentary.